High graphics. Volume will keep where it's at. Censorship? Oh, of nudity? Oh, I want to look at dead dongs, though. I sort of want to look at dead dongs, but I think I'll get kicked off Twitch. Rest in peace. I'll have to look at dead dongs in my own free time. I assume that's what that is. I hope it's not censoring blood, though. Like seriously, that's what I'm concerned about. If it's gonna be censoring blood, that's lame censorship, and I don't want it. If it's censoring tits and ass, then I get it. You know, and I'll suffer. But I'll go without, you know. You know, there's been a lot Discord private show. I'll stream on fucking Chatterbait. Let's just get into the game. Horny tomato. Can we get some horny tomatoes from the subs in chat? And the doms, even? Oh. I see a little bit of laughing. Thank you, Slays.
No, do not call me anymore. It's none of my business.
Relatable. Relatable. A little stuttery. I'll turn the graphics down a bit. Thank you. Now the volume can stay. Smoother? Yeah, a little iffy, but we'll see what's going on. Yeah, it's not just chugging. It wasn't just chugging on Streamlabs. It was actually a little stuttery for me, too. There we go. That looks smooth, right? And let's check this out.
Oh,
Calendar.
Shit. It's only Thursday.
Relatable. I've got my own issues, but I'm not on the skids yet to drink at work. Not relatable. Oh, shit. Hi, this is Kate Brooks, a reporter for the New Orleans Weekly. I couldn't find you at home. I'm starting to suspect you are avoiding me, Mr. Harmon? I can't read. Anyway, as you know, we'd like to write an I can't read cursive, I don't think. What the fuck does this say? An article. An article commemorating your wife's achievements. Wow. Boiling me down to my wife's achievements? Are you kidding me? Misandry. We would be delighted to talk to you about it. Along with this note, I'm also leaving my business card. I hope to find you at home or at the office. Who's my wife? I bet she's not with me anymore. Oh, I could have just made it easier on myself. No, I want to get immersed. I want to get immersed, because in real life, I would be squinting at that.
How am I supposed to record a lecture for the students now? Feeling completely broken.
Relatable.
I'll go nuts if I don't take my pills.
Relatable. I like this guy. He's just like me. I miss Alice, apparently. Enough story. Grab the cutting tools.
Oh, the cops from Steven's visit yesterday. I don't think he likes my coffee. He barely took a sip.
Wasting coffee? Not in my house. Okay, some ciggies. Aerosmith, 1991. Okay, I don't know if that's a good memory for us or if it sets us in 1991, but fair enough. I'm seeing you on Friday D. At the Aerosmith show? That's on Saturday. But maybe. We'll see. Tomato makes the bunny uncomfortable. I'm sorry. Look for your pills. Go to the bathroom.
I really need to fix them.
I'm into this so far.
It's supposed to rain today.
Pretty good voice acting considering, like, this isn't a AAA game or anything. Not sure how big the studio is. I'll get you. Okay. Another person gone missing. Is there a serial kidnapper in Peatsville? The New Orleans Police Department have received another missing persons report for an unidentified female, making it the third this month. Is it just a coincidence or a meticulously crafted scheme? Interesting. To be honest, one of my favorite parts of vet school, too. A&P dissections were awesome. Right, dude? That shit is sick. How you doing, Zabumafu? Good to see you, man.
It's for my guests, but they seem to never drink or say anything when they visit me.
Is Slay's coming over? Dude, I bet you would get a kick out of this. Zabumafu. Do you mind if I call you your real name, or do you want to be the handle? I'm fine with either. How to break out of this vicious cycle. This guy is just like me. It's amazing.
I feel like an exhibit here sometimes.
Alright, just open all the drawers. Oh my god, smack myself in the face with the door. There's a little bit of chugging, a little bit of stuttering when it loads, but overall fairly smooth when I'm walking around from the looks of it.
Fuck. Where are my meds?
This place is gross. Why is it so hazy? Here are my meds. Somebody needs to clean this mirror. Pure Castle soap, peppermint soap. I like that. Lore. Remind me of the John Kramer operation in Saw. You can use either one. I don't really mind either way. Sounds good, man. Let's see. Must be weird working in a place like this, all by yourself.
Right. Now I can go get the camera.
You must have to have some fucking nerves, huh? At least at first. Is this storage?
Oh, this place is starting to look like a garbage dump rather than a storage room.
Relatable. Relatable. I like this guy. We have a ladder here. My hair's tickling my nose now. It's not even running. I just need a haircut.
Repairs.
Lights are going to go out at some point. That's good to know.
Cheapest paint rollers from the supermarket. I don't think any colors would change how bleak this place is.
Okay. Yeah, for real. Just leaving paint out like that? Come on, man. Alright, definitely 91 with that camera.
Well, I hope I won't forget to press the record button this time.
Go to the autopsy room, alright. Yeah, me
Let's
too.
move on straight to our deceased.
I am really into this.
I'm wondering how the new tripod is going to work. Just frame it properly and... Oh, this should be fine. November 21st, 1991. Time, 8:43 p.m. Recording for medical students from the University of Missouri. The autopsy is conducted by Jack Hammond. Ladies and gentlemen, it is always worth having a look at the files before conducting the autopsy. That is where we can find all kinds of clues to what could have potentially happened to the deceased.
Good to know. I am a trained physician, and so I should have no problem with this game. Studied at Johnson & Wales.
We'll get to making notes on the board.
That's us, I assume. I'm really immersed right now. I apologize for the lack of commentary, but I don't really have anything to add. This is just interesting right now.
I don't know how I could have worked without this gadget before. No music today. I don't want it to jam me.
What the fuck is this? Ooh. Hey, we were just talking about Fat Thursday, right? All right.
Well, who do we have here today? Mention the rookie mistakes. Oh yeah, that's right. That's my warrant to sensify you for a few issues. First, due to the fact that in the process of revealing and securing forensic traces, interference that changes the primary condition happens. The photographic documentation plays a huge role in the entire process of examination. Then, the body needs to be placed on its back on the autopsy table. The pathomorphologist stands on the left-hand side of the body. Third, very rarely but still, the cause of death remains unknown if all the tests come out negative. That's the so-called white autopsy. Now remember that it can also happen.
Okay, I really like the setup with how they're sort of giving me the tutorial by having him record a lecture for students. That's kind of cool. That's a really good way to go about it.
Found on the outskirts of a parking lot near a gas station, where he often begged and insistently offered to clean the windows of cars that were leaving the station. The body was found in a dry field drain. A frequent cause of traumatic deaths among the elderly is the various types of accidents, including traffic accidents or falling down the stairs. The body was spotted by a station worker during the morning shift. At first, he thought that someone had thrown rain boots and a coat in a nearby ditch. It took him a moment to recognize a human body laying on its back. Signs of libation could be found around the dead body. Empty bottles, traces of an inept attempt to start a fire, and a scattered makeshift blanket.
Okay.
The deceased is locally known as Old Toby. Homeless and unemployed for at least a couple years. He had gotten into fights and had been bullied by the problematic youth of the town. He was that type of a man who never kept up alcohol, which caused him to be homeless. As a young man working in a suburban coal mine most of his life, he already abused alcohol, and as the time went by, he'd fall into addiction more. That's interesting. Although alcohol poisoning as a sole cause of death among the elderly people is relatively rare, different levels of alcohol poisoning happen among 1 in 4 deaths of elderly people, which may suggest that alcohol abuse is a significant issue in this age group. What is important to note, even though alcohol poisoning does not cause death, it does increase the risk of accidents and their following injuries.
Yeah, I believe so, Wes. I mean, I'll check out how large the dev is afterwards, but I'm pretty sure it's a small creator.
Found on the outskirts of a... Mention the rookie... Found on the deceased... The body was found at 7 o'clock by Sheriff Matthew Thompson. White male, 76 kilograms, 5'8", age unknown. The deceased is a local homeless man named Toby Chambers. His son runs a hardware store. His wife ran away years ago. Local police have talked to residents, so we know more about the deceased. For example, that he loved drinking, and by no means was abstinent. Such clues can direct us to things that are worth keeping in mind during the autopsy.
Definitely. Yeah, for real, Virus.
Mention the rookie
Okay,
mistakes.
that's that then.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's my first. Due to the body
Hold on.
needs to be placed on its back.
Yeah. Fine, put the gloves on.
The damn gloves. Now we can get to work. We're going to need the camera. It should be here somewhere.
What do you mean the camera? Not the video camera, right? Must be a different
I
camera.
must have left it in one of the drawers.
There it is.
Let's follow the procedure and prepare photo documentation. We must follow the top-down rule. Luckily, we don't have to take pictures of the clothes this time. We are only focusing on the body. Let's keep in mind it's all about the legibility, not the perfect frame. Before we start searching for traces on the deceased's body, we have to take a main picture that goes in the files.
Like that? Top down? How do you mean top down? Like this?
Voila!
Yep.
Now we move on to the next step. Trace search.
Find spots on the body to photograph. Okay.
We're going to need better zoom here. We're going to need better zoom here. We're going to need better zoom here.
Some sort of trauma. Let's see. Maybe that's just old skin. I'm not sure.
People affected by homelessness most often die from accidents, alcohol abuse, or they freeze to death.
That doesn't look good.
Unfortunately, both suicide and homicide are also quite common. Well, you don't have to stand close to be able to smell a strong odor of alcohol and other discharges. There's nothing left to say. Old Toby didn't spare himself.
Yeah, for real. Oh. Fascinating shit, man. For real. This is a very solid, solemn, ominous game right now, and I'm really into this.
While taking the photos, some entries that could be potentially lethal caught my attention. Let's take a closer look using the magnifying glass.
Okay. Where's that? Oh, magnifying glass. Where are you? Oh, begin the autopsy? Oh, I see. It has the tool's wheel. That's helpful. Okay.
There are frostbite marks all over the deceased's body. Although they are most visible on the tips of his fingers, they can be recognized by the very specific color of the skin. However, the hands tell us much more. By the look of his feet, I assume Toby must have worn uncomfortable and dinky shoes for quite a while. However, such wounds have nothing to do with his death. That's something interesting. While making photographic documentation, ecchymosis can be seen on the deceased man's head. The appearance indicates the intravital nature of the wound. We'll come back later to see if everything is alright with the brain. An old wound that hadn't healed properly. It must have been some kind of burn or other injury. Nevertheless, it has nothing to do with the potential cause of death. What do we have here?
This is a really easy game to lose myself in, I bet. Okay, possible causes of death. Longitudinal scar, possibly a burn, no. Scratches and other minor damage to the feet, no. Visible frostbite on the hands, possible organ congestion, I think we'll put down for sure. Bloody hematomas, further examination of the brain needed.
The condition of the head tells us it could have been a fatal accident.
The odor, of course.
The odor can be the result of alcohol intoxication.
Oh, and I guess we do write these down anyway.
An old wound that hadn't healed properly. It must have been some kind of burn or other injury. Nevertheless, it has nothing to do with the potential cause of death. By the look of his feet, I assume Toby must have worn uncomfortable and
yeah, you already said that.
However,
so there we go. So we have a couple things to examine. Yeah, it really does.
At this point, that's all I can do based on all traces on the body of the deceased. The inside should tell me much more. Let's move back to the body. Now let's check the level of muscle tension. This will allow us to establish time of death. Let's raise the deceased's hand.
Little mini game.
And then let go. The stronger the rigor mortis gets, the greater the resistance from the muscles will be. As you can see, the hand falls loose. The rigor mortis has already subsided. We can then assume that the time of death stated in the files is correct.
Okay.
Let's grab a scalpel.
Here you guys go.
You can boldly cut with the scalpel. It won't hurt him no more. We always start with the neck and move down towards the symphysis pubis. The incision should be deep. Next, we separate the skin and prepare to remove the ribs.
Ugh. God. Oh, how you doing, Carticus? Welcome in. Hey, Jess. Look at this nonsense. You came back at a good fucking time. What am I doing? Open the chest using the hand tool? I did. Did I not? Fly away. Fly away.
I don't need this tool now.
No? Well, I did it. I don't know. Looks like my date night last week for real. Let's see. Open the chest. I mean, how much more open can the chest get? Oh, like that. I see.
The adipose tissue has an intense yellow hue. As you probably already guessed, we're going to need the scissors.
Whew, baby. That's gonna be nice. The loppers.
After removing both cartilage and bone tissues, we are actually interested in two things that you can see at the very first glance. The lack of organ congestion means that, although the deceased was cold, hypothermia wasn't the cause of death.
Okay. A naked man has few secrets, a flayed man has none. Jesus Christ. At least this guy's dead. Captain Crunch, tell me about it. Jess, no problem. Enjoy Genshin. I hope that you enjoy the sounds of bones crunching. Oh, I see. Just look at everything until the bar fills up. I like that. There we go.
We can eliminate freezing as the cause of death.
Take one of the lungs out. Here we go.
The deceased smoked like a chimney.
Yep.
Let's take a closer look. We see widespread black and tarry deposits caused by smoking cigarettes. Despite the tragic condition of the lungs, they are not the cause of death.
Jesus Christ, Jess.
Now we need to go grab the syringe. At this point, we need to test the level of blood alcohol concentration of the deceased.
Imagine having a date. Couldn't be me.
Now, we prick the bladder and draw about 10 milliliters of fluid. We move on to collecting blood from the heart. 5 milliliters from the left ventricle should do it.
Hey, feel free to check out some of these demos, Leanne.
We also collect the fluid from the deceased to determine the level of alcohol concentration in the vitreous humor.
Ooh, we're going to the mixer. Anyone hungry?
Keep
Anyone
in mind
thirsty?
That you have to set the right time and speed on both knobs before running the centrifuge. Our samples may break into pieces due to the centrifugal force if we set up the wrong coordinates. I myself am terrible with numbers because I suffer from dyscalculia, which is why I always keep the appropriate coordinates at hand.
Interesting. I'm glad that they gave my character a reason for not knowing the numbers, because I sure as hell fucking don't. I'm also terrible with numbers. What's this? Out of order, technician coming out. Lordy. That's cool how the board is getting filled out. In A&P, we got bonus points for lab if we could get the lungs, esophagus, and tongue out in one piece. Oof. Hey, enjoy your meal, Hugh. I've got this one downloading airway. What's that? Take the note from the pin board. Is that here? Yeah. Time 40 minutes, speed 75%. 40 minutes, 75%. Oh, I see. So now that we have this, do we need to turn this or... Oh, yeah, turn the knob here. 40 minutes, 75%. Well, I've got this one downloading anyway. That's fair. There we go. Looks right to me.
Ugh, damn it. If something goes to shit, it's all the way. That's probably the... and I was hoping to clock out early today.
Probably the fuse, he was going to say. Got cut off by...
What was that?
That was just a cat. Calm down.
Where did it go?
Get the lights back on.
Yeah, it's definitely the fuses. Right goes first, left next. Voila. Where's that unbearable noise coming from? That's strange.
Excuse me.
Make sure I close the window.
Excuse me, sir.
The homeless probably misses me already. Where were we? Oh yeah, the blood alcohol concentration. Well, everything is telling us that the BAC, blood alcohol concentration, is high, hence the smell we're getting from the deceased. Still, to be 100% sure, I have to send the samples to the lab. Unfortunately, I don't have the equipment to conduct a detailed analysis here.
So the stomach is next. No, I'm doing fine. How are you guys? Yeah.
Now let's take a closer look at the stomach.
It's creepy enough working on dead bodies in the real world. It's significantly creepier working on dead bodies knowing that we're in a universe where ghosts and shit could totally exist. Plasma's yellow as fuck. Dude, I bet you would get a huge kick out of playing a game like this. No, that's the diaphragm, excuse me. The stomach. Nope, that's still the diaphragm. There it is. Can we, like, play it like a horn? I'm examining. I'm trying.
As expected, the stomach has no major external damage. In this case, further inspection is no use. We must cut him open.
Oh no, it's one of these games? Oh fuck. I am really bad at this. Making my stomach hurt, I'll tell you that much. There we go.
That's interesting.
Oh, yummy.
In addition to a large amount of gas and liquid, the stomach also contains small amounts of yellow-grayish food content resembling some kind of meat. Either our deceased hadn't eaten in days, or some of the bulk of his stomach had found a way out.
Huh?
Now, it couldn't have been suffocation, could it? Now we need to focus on the cardiovascular system, especially the heart. We take the organ and look it up and down, carefully.
Wild shit, man.
At first glance, the heart looks fine. The pulmonary trunk and aorta seem to be in good condition. There are no pathological changes that have contributed to our Toby's death. Well, once we've got the body ticked off, we can move on to the head. Let's take the autopsy saw to cut through the skull to cleave it in two. Remember, the skull, not the saw.
Okay.
Anyway, we will start dissecting the brain from the occipital lobe. In this way, the brain's dura mater is slowly revealing itself.
Oi. This game is crazy, man. This is really crazy.
After the basic examination, we can see that the cerebral gyri in both brain hemispheres are symmetric and the bumps between them are clear.
Okay.
So far, so good. The hematoma seems to have had no effect on the organ we're examining. Let's check its transection. Moving on to the incision. Holding a knife with a long, narrow blade in your dominant hand, cut the cranial nerves on both sides, pulling the brain towards you.
I am so awful at this. Holy shit.
Remember, just one small fragment examined under the magnifying glass is enough to dispel or confirm our doubts. We then take the fragment of the brain to the tray and, literally and figuratively, go over it with a fine-tooth comb.
Well, alright.
Just as I initially suspected, we can rule the fatal accident out as well.
Misha, welcome in. We are doing some gross cutting open of people. How are you doing? This is, we're playing demos in Next Fest, and this is Autopsy Simulator, and it is kind of badass. Oh. This is the part that made me think of Saw 3 when they kidnapped the doctor to fix John Turner. Fatal fall. Take out the trachea next.
Same as we did with the stomach. External inspection didn't tell us anything. Now the scalpel comes into play. While cutting a small organ, such as the trachea, we must perform a precise incision. To be able to cut with the very tip of the blade, we must hold the knife as if it was a stylus.
That's right, I had a Nintendo DS growing up. I know a
Ladies and
thing or two
gentlemen,
about that.
I think we've got it.
I'm not seeing any cannibalism options,
Based
no.
on the report and preliminary documentation, it is safe to assume that the deceased passed out after consumption of alcohol and then fell asleep on his back. Then the gastric contents refluxed and flooded the airways, causing death.
Ah.
That's why we don't forget about the recovery position at dorm parties.
Truth. Very truth.
And now it's all clear. The death was caused by suffocation.
Huh.
In addition to a large amount of gas and liquid, the stomach also contains small amounts of yellow, grayish
Oh,
food
yeah, that's
content
already been
resembling
handled.
either our
Go to the general card.
We now come to the
What's that?
deceased's neck.
Oh, cause of death here. What, do we not mark this off? Manner of death, I guess? Oh. Wait, am I supposed to sign this? Nick Apple. That looks good enough.
It went quite smoothly today. I'm about to get off.
That looks bad enough, I should say, to be a signature. Close the chest. Sure thing. Here you are.
In order to bring the chest of our deceased back to its initial state, at least to a small extent, we must take the needle in our hand. We sewed the deceased
Really?
using the baseball stitch technique. This
I like
stitching method
baseball.
is very strong and quick to do.
You'll never catch me, Krabs. Not when I shift into maximum overdrive. Hi-ya!
I should probably get to that.
Did he just say I'm about to get off? I think so, yeah. Pick up the phone. Oh, it's over here.
I'm coming.
I always do that. I always say that out loud.
This is Dr. Jack Hanman. Please leave a message.
Where's my phone? Here.
Good evening. How are you? How are you? How are you?
What the f is that supposed to be? I'll finish the stitching and I'm getting the fuck out of here.
I think that was just my Twitch stream I had on in the background. That was Amaranth, I think, doing ASMR.
What the fuck?
Okay. Okay. Okay, thank you for not literally killing me at the end there, because I was so prepared for something to jump out at me. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. I might be adding that one to the wish list, I'll be honest. That was fascinating. Did you memorize all that the next autopsy you're on your own? I hope not. I really hope not. I hope it's just, you know, walking me through the mini games. Let me go to their Twitter real fast. Indie game developer. Coming soon. They actually have 3 different games listed as coming soon, which is kind of fascinating. That's a lot like the Mortuary Assistant. I'll check that one out next. Wow. That was fucking wild.